Hello, this is my Halloween 2023 show or podcast. And it's going to be very scary what I'm going to talk about. I titled it THC Gummy versus PCP. For those of you who heard on my podcast, I've been sober since 1984. But I had I had experimented with a friend, THC gummies. And at my age, I should have been afraid of taking something that I've heard can get you high. And I have a history of doing PCP. So I was on an adventurous journey with my friend, I should say my ex. Uncontrollable and young again. Into the twilight zone I went. My name is Eric. Welcome to the craziness that lives inside my head on this Halloween 2023. Okay, so recently my 75-year-old ex introduced me to hemp gummies, aka THC. He told me that it was going to relax me and make me have a good night's sleep. Not to say I didn't have a good night's sleep, but we were sleeping together. I mean, I thought I had a good night's sleep, but he claims I was twisting and turning, whatever. We were watching TV at the time when he offered me the forbidden fruit, blueberry hemp gummy. I chewed the whole thing, being that I do have an addictive personality, and I told him I've been sober so long and I wasn't a reefer person unless it was sprayed with PCP, angel dust. Reefer had no effect on me. Maybe I should take two. He said, no, try one first. So I did the one. And I'm sitting there watching TV with him. No reaction. No effects. And I got tired of watching the boring TV program. I mean, his taste in movies was quite horrendous. But I watch it with him, He is my buddy, whatever you want to call it. So anyway, I said, no, I'm going to bed. I had enough. You could finish watching whatever it is. So I went to bed. And I was twisting and turning because he had the TV so damn loud. I'm in the bedroom. He's in the living room. But after an hour, I heard my ex, who got into bed because the movie was over, I guess. And that was when reality became unreal. Like I said, I'm laying there. And then, because I'm laying there twisting and turning, waiting for him to get into bed, I'm an angel dust person, so I'm expecting that angel dust. Whoa. But this hemp thing, after an hour, was doing weird things to me. So, anyway, I'm laying there, and I said to him, I said, this is weird. And he said, what are you talking about? I said, well, I'm feeling like I'm in and out of consciousness. Like, not so much consciousness. I felt like I was in one place. Maybe I was on the moon. I'm back in the bed. I was on Mars, and I'm back in bed. And I told him, I said, well, this is a different sensation. Because when I drank or drug back in the day, in the 80s, I was a blackout drinker. So I like the fact that my head goes spinning. And once my head goes spinning, next thing you know, I wake up, I'm in bed. Because I black out and I'm in bed. But this was different. I'm laying there. And it was like, where was I? Not like the PCP, where was I? But it was like, I was in and out of reality, so to speak. And he kept saying, what are you saying? What are you saying? And I'm like, huh? What are you talking about? And I know my mouth was moving, but whatever I was saying, he couldn't understand. And then I had the giggles. I couldn't stop giggling. He said something to me, I would giggle. Just giggle and just go, it was weird. And to be honest with you, deeply, enemy didn't like it. I mean, the old drug me loved it. But the enemy didn't like it because I felt out of control. Like I had no control. And I know he was moving me, telling me to do this or do that and whatever I did. But here's the real part. I kind of black out. I'm not sure. But what happened was I felt something in my nose. And I'm going to be honest with you. My ex, when I saw my ex, he was an ex-nurse, retired nurse, whatever. And I remember his dog was giving him, he had 4 dogs. And this one dog, what he should have had fixed, didn't have fixed, was in heat. It was a male. He only had male dogs. He was trying to hump the other male dog. And the dog got on his nerves so bad, he went and took a needle tranquilizer and gave it to the dog. And to calm the dog down. And then when I felt this thing in my nose, it felt warm, and it felt like, and I'm thinking, and then after it happened, that's when I really out of it. I mean, in my head, I was humping him. I don't know how I could hump him, being that I was on those, those cancer medications that don't allow you to hump anything. But I was humping him. And I remember hugging him. And in my head, I was in and out of, consciousness. And I remember hugging him, humping him. And then I relaxed. And he was holding my arms. And he said to me, I remember this. I don't know if I hallucinated it or not. Maybe that's what I was doing. Hallucinating. I was hallucinating. Which I never really hallucinate when I was on PCP. PCP, my mind went around and I just got crazy. I wasn't used to hallucinating, especially after no hemp. Like I said, I didn't like reefer. I smoked it. It didn't do anything for me unless you spray PCP on it. So now I had these these reefer gummies, THCs, and now I was like hallucinating. That's what it was. So I could have been hallucinating about the nose, but I couldn't get the thing I couldn't get out of my head at the time was he sticking a needle in my nose. Because right after he did that, that's when I started doing the humping and acting all crazy. And I remember hearing this. He held me real tight and he said, "You're going to be my drug addict now. You are no longer yourself. You belong to me." And then I fell asleep. Of course, I got up in the middle of the night to go pee. It still had an effect. I had to grab on the wall. I mean, I still was under that sensation of being, wow, this is nice. And I had to go pee and get back into bed. So the next morning, I woke up and I remembered all that, which is something that didn't happen to me in my drugging days. I would black out and don't remember a damn thing. But I remember the hallucinations I was doing. And I remember the thing in my nose. And I remember him saying that I belong to him now. So anyway, we were having breakfast and I yelled at him, "You drugged me." I yelled at him across the table, "You drugged me." And he looked at me, he says, "No, I didn't. You took it at your own free will." Well, it wasn't going to happen again, and that didn't happen again. Because now that I'm sober, I didn't want to return to that crazy alcoholic drug life. I just didn't want to do it. I just didn't. Well, that was one of the things why we broke up. There's many. I could 10 podcasts telling you all the things that I went through at my age. You figure at 71 and you have a lover that's 75, you shouldn't be going through things that you're going through at your 20 because your lover don't want to grow old. They want to be 20 years old again and try to do 20-year-old things. I can't do 20-year-old things. And I said, listen, I couldn't do anything when I was 20, the things he liked to do, like boating and all this other stuff. I said, when I was 20, I was too fat to get on the boat. I was too fat to get on the bike. I couldn't do all those things. And now since I'm in my 70s, I'm not as fat as I was when in my 20s, I can't do it because my limbs are all stiff and everything. I kind of think that's why he's trying to drug me to death, because it seems when I'm under that hemp influence, I do things, scary things, things that I really don't want to say that I might have done. Anyway, you have heard the craziness that lives inside.